What is up, friends and RC family? My name is Alec from High Noon Hobbies. I appreciate you checking in. If you're new here, thank you very much for checking the channel out. I hope that you'll stick around, watch a video or two, enjoy some scale trucking with me, and see if the content's worth your while. If it is, maybe even consider subscribing or liking a few of these videos, dropping a comment down below. Any of those sorts of activities are they're approved activities. If you aren't new here, I appreciate you checking back in very much. You're special to me. You're real special to me. But really, guys, I do appreciate it. This channel is growing super quickly, and it couldn't happen without you. So I want to just throw a huge shout out to everyone for subscribing to the channel, for liking these videos, for giving me so much feedback in the comments down below. I'm not being facetious when I say this. I really do appreciate you guys leaving comments down below, getting to hear what you guys think. It's helped me grow as a RC crawler driver. It's helped me grow as a content creator, and it's helped me make a lot of cool new friends. So I really appreciate that. One last thing before this video gets started. This video is sponsored by the one and only High Noon Hobby Morale Patches. These are 3x3 circular embroidered patches. Oh, it's so dark you can't see it because it's in the shadow. Hopefully you can... Oh, look at that. Oh. Yeah, these are pretty cool. I like them. Again, probably biased because I designed them. But if you want to support the channel, if you want to support all the cool stuff that I'm doing, all the events that I'm trying to schedule, all of the different things that I am trying to do to grow the RC community. If you want to help me out with any of that, I really appreciate it. The link will be down in the description to pick up one of these cool patches. So if you want to pick up one of these patches, look down in the description for that link. They are like $9, so and shipping's almost free. So I hope that you'll consider that. If you do, thank you very much. I hope that you'll rep it. It's really cool. You can do something like this. You know, you can... So it comes with this backing, but it's hook and loop. Hook and loop, because that's what everyone requested. If you just so happen to have a backpack with some Velcro areas... Oh, what's this? Oh, that's just... Oh, yeah. Slap her on there. Look at that. Now we're repping. Alright, let's get into the video. Alright, so here we are back down in southern Utah. This is the St. George Airport area. There are some good lines to be had on the rock piles up on the valley walls of the airport itself. And so for part of the Slut Crawler Sand Hollow takeover, we decided to pack up a few trucks and head out towards the airport and see what this area was all about. This particular video, as you probably have told by the title, or what you're seeing in front of you right now, is about the TF2 Marlin, one of my favorites. And I know that I say that all of my trucks are one of my favorite trucks, and that's just gonna be the case. If I own a truck, it's probably because I like the truck and I enjoy using it. But this truck, I will say, is probably the truck that I have... Well, I would say I probably have the most fun driving this truck. I just love watching the scale leaf springs work, and I don't know what it is about the combination of components that RC4 Drive has put together here, but this truck is absurdly fun to watch go down the trail, and it's very fun to pick apart lines in a way that this truck can actually make work, because obviously it's no comp crawler. No, it's no G-Speed. It's certainly not a flat rail comp crawler. This is, if anything, pretty much a completely stock TF2. This is the Marlin Crawler Edition, obviously, and this particular edition has some upgraded electronics. But you can see, even here, where I'm struggling to get up something, and, you know, the obstacle kind of bested me, I'm still having a blast. I'm still having a really good time trying to figure out a way to get up stuff like that. And I don't, want to be disingenuous to you guys. I want to show when I'm not able to get up stuff. And I'm sure I'm going to show a lot of stuff that I also couldn't get up. But you don't want to watch an entire video of fails. But I oftentimes feel like this truck, even though maybe I can't make it up stuff that I could make it up in my comp crawler or something like that, I still feel like this truck is outdriving me. Meaning I still feel like oftentimes when I'm getting bested by these obstacles, it's not really the truck getting bested by these obstacles, it's just me as a driver. There are certain times, like this experience right here, I'm just scraping bumper, and that happens in this truck. There are clearance issues, especially with the bumper that I've chosen, even though I think it looks pretty cool, especially with the worn winch out front like that. And boy, do I need some fender flares. Some inner fender arches. I need to get something covering that up. You can just see right in there, can't you? Oh dear. But either way, back to my point. I don't think that I can outdrive this truck still, even though this is probably one of the, maybe what you would call one of the lesser capable trucks in my fleet. I don't consider it that way. I look at it as another way to approach the rocks, another way to get better. Because if you can drive a Marlin Crawler up the line, well, you can probably drive a Phoenix up the line, and you can definitely drive a G-Speed up the line. That's just kind of obviously a very general take and not always true, but that's kind of my general feeling on it. And so that's one of the reasons that I really like driving this Marlin Crawler around. You know that if you've achieved it in the Marlin Crawler, you're probably going to achieve it in any other truck you've got. Now, this particular line here is a tough one, and you'll see some of the limitations again, the bumper being one of them. And the other limitation that I think becomes apparent on this stretch is the steering. And part of that is my servo choice. I just have a really cheap Savox servo in here. Part of that is the steering geometry and the fact that, again, this is completely stock in terms of all the components except for the electronics. So I ditched the electronics really quickly because the stock steering servo that comes in this truck is absolute garbage. If you are looking for recommendations from me as to be what would be the first thing you would do to this truck, it would be steering servo, 100%. You can see right here, I get jammed up. I try it again from the bottom, this stretch right here, and this time, because I noticed that trying to kind of stem the gap and sticking to the left and putting the tire really high on that left wall, I noticed that once I had to make the transition over to the right, I ended up in the notch. So this time around, I think, ooh, well, I have outsmarted the rock. I will go to the far right-hand side here, and I will avoid having to make that transition. I'll kind of do the transition early here, as long as I've got the belly clearance to make this work. And you can see it pretty much works out for me until right about here, and then I fall back into the notch once again. So I gave up trying to make it through there. I do apologize again. I think the truck could make it, but I was incapable. So this little stretch here is trying to make your way out of this section that we've been watching here for a second, and this is pretty tough for any sort of tiny tire truck. I worked on this for a while, and I couldn't even get something that looked recognizably like the truck wanted to make its way out of here. I think you need your passenger front tire to be really high up on that wall that it's next to right there, but I just couldn't get it. So that's, there are limitations, again, to the truck and mostly to this driver. But I love driving this truck. I have an absolute blast of a time. It's a little bit more high stakes because you've got a hard body on there, so if you take a huge tumble, something that is pretty common out in this areas like this, where we've got sand hollows just full of giant cliffs that you'll be driving next to, take a big tumble with a hard body like the Marlin, and you're going to have a bad day. Logan was actually pretty impressed that I was taking this Marlin Crawler through some of the stuff that we were doing in Sand Hollow the first time that I went out with him. And I just didn't even know what I was getting myself into, but I knew as long as I took the Marlin Crawler, I'd have a smile on my face, and I was right. I did have a smile on my face the whole time. Now, it's easy to have a smile on the face no matter what you're doing, as long as you're out in Sand Hollow with West Desert Wheeler. Either way, I had a good time, and I think the Marlin Crawler was a big part of that. So I wanted to kind of end this video off with a win. You've seen a few of my losses for the day. You've seen a few of the lines, the more technical lines that I couldn't get up. This is a pretty dang technical line, and I felt really good about one-shotting this line in the Marlin Crawler. So This section right here is really probably one of the more tricky spots. I saw that whole left-hand side of this line just absolutely destroy trucks all morning. So I decided to take a really far right line and try to stem that gap. And you can see I got some good wheel hang over that giant chasm, which was pretty satisfying. And I was able to avoid most of the gnarly carnage and make my way up to the top. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Again, this is just my opinion, but I have the most fun driving my least capable truck. I don't know what it is, but I have a great time with it. I want to know what you guys think, though, so leave it in the comment section down below if you think that you have the most fun with your comp crawler and why, or you think that all of this crawling stuff is stupid and you'd just rather be bashing. I'd like to hear that, too. Leave it in the comments down below. So appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next time, and yeah. Thanks, guys.